it's Marley, here to start a new weekly reading vlog. So this week, in honor of it being February, aka the month of love, of Valentine's Day, I'm going to be reading a few anticipated romance books from some authors I have read from before. I tend to do this every year, a little romance reading vlog in February, so I'll link my past ones below. But just so you know what I'm going to be reading before we get into the vlog, first up we have Check and Mate by Hazelwood. This is actually her first young adult romance, but I have really enjoyed basically all of her adult stuff that she's put out, so very excited to read this one. Then we have Fool Me Once by Winstead. I've only ever read this author's thriller books, but they have been some of my favorite thrillers, so I'm definitely excited to see what she does with a little romance. She always has romance in her thrillers, so I feel like she can definitely pull it off. Then we have The True Love Experiment by Christina. This is an author that's definitely been hit or miss for me, but this is the follow-up to The Soulmate Equation, which is one that didn't really work for me, but it's following my favorite character from that one named Fizzy. So I am actually excited to see what her story will bring. I have more hope for it. So let's get into the reading vlog. Time for a halfway check-in for Check and Mate by Hazelwood. I'm having a great time with this. I have a feeling it could be another 5-star romance. It could be, or 4 stars. I don't know. Either way, I'm having such a good time with it. This is about Mallory. She's a young adult, but she has 2 younger sisters and a mom. She's very family oriented since they lost their dad recently. Her mom has a disability. It is rheumatoid arthritis or whatever that one is. So the mom's not able to work very much right now. And as I said, her 2 younger sisters are like 12 and 14. So it's kind of fallen to her to take care of the family. Very much, you know, Fiona from Shameless. She's working at this mechanic shop, taking as many shifts as she can. I feel like it's a trend with Hazelwood, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, for her main characters always to be struggling with money. I don't know if she's aware of that, but I guess she uses that to further the plot a lot. But this girl Mallory used to be very into playing chess, like competitive chess, but she has since stopped. You know, she doesn't have time for it. There's a little bit of mystery shrouding what happened and why she stopped playing. Anyways, her friend still plays chess, so she kind of like guilts her into playing in this one tournament when she needs players. So Mallory does end up playing in this random tournament, and for some reason Sawyer, think is his name, who's like the best chess player in the world, is at this tournament, and she ends up playing him and she beats him. This man is the best chess player in the world, so he is like, what? Like, he's shocked, everyone else that's there is shocked, and she just runs away. But basically this becomes kind of like a media thing, and so she gets approached by someone who saw this and is like, hey, we want to train you to play chess professionally. It's gonna pay pretty well, and because she's desperate for money, she does it, even though she has this kind of like mysterious trauma when it comes to chess. So the romance is between her and Sawyer, the big chess player. As you can imagine, they start to play each other at other tournaments and just sort of interact more. I will say, I feel like it took a while to get into the romance. Like, we were really focused on Mallory and her life, and we weren't seeing her interact with Sawyer very much. Or whenever she did see him, she would like run away. But of course, Sawyer is like the hottest little chess player ever, right? Like, not the type of person you would expect to be playing chess, but a very like tall, dark, and handsome, typical Hazelwood love interest. But what we've got to see from him so far is very cute. Another classic trope likes to use is the main character being totally oblivious that he is into her. This happens every time, and I am a sucker for it, even though sometimes you're shaking your head and you're like, how are you not picking up on the fact that he's into you? And yeah, it's quite cute, and so I do look forward to reading the second half because I think now they're gonna be interacting a lot more. In terms of representation, always attempts to have some rep in there. The main character is bisexual, and I think Sawyer is gonna be asexual or demisexual from like the vibes I'm picking up, which normally includes. And yeah, just have the classic Hazelwood humor, which is one of my favorite parts of her books too. So very excited to be having a good time with this one. All right, I need a little snack before I make dinner here, but I just finished Check and Mate. Guys, it has been not the best day, but this book was a silver lining. This book was probably the only good part of my day. Anyways, I do want to talk about something interesting from this book regarding the chess stuff. There's an aspect of this book that of course focused on the sexism that happens in chess, in the chess industry. It's very male dominated. Women typically are not represented as much as men, and they talk about this research that was done in the book, and then in the author's note, Allie talks about how it's real research from real life, where basically there was this experiment done where women chess players played against men and they performed worse when they knew they were playing against a man, but if they didn't know the gender of their opponent, even if it was a man, they did better. Basically, it proved that women, if they knew they were going up against a man, they would play worse, kind of due to that, like, because they know they're playing against someone who either is like being sexist towards them, intimidating them, thinks less of them, stuff like that. I don't know. It's an interesting concept that kind of makes sense. Of course, if you think someone's like looking down on you, whatever, you're gonna like maybe perform to what's expected of you rather than do your best. Anyways, getting into the book. So I think in my first update, I called the love interest Sawyer. His first name is actually Nolan. It's Nolan Sawyer. But this book had everything I could possibly want from a romance personally. Everything really worked for me, and I am not sure if I want to give it a full 5-star rating or 4.5. I want to say something's holding me back and I want to just do 4.5, but I don't know if that's because I am kind of in a weird mental state, as I said before, about not having the best day. But basically this is like, I guess probably my favorite Allie Hazelwood, but I don't know if it's just like I'm forgetting how I felt after reading her other ones. I mean, the romance is great. As I said before, like it was pretty slow burn. It's definitely not the main, no, it is not, like it is the main focus, but I can tell why they put this under the YA category. Typically YA books, you know, focus on more than just the romance. They focus on like coming of age and different themes. So that's what this book does, but we still have this really great slow burn romance. They have this great chemistry and tension. They're very cute. Like I was so, you know, sold by it. But then we also have that family drama. We have the friendship stuff that I think could be relatable for people, where her friend has moved away to college and she's feeling like her friend's, you know, moving on from her. The family stuff I think could definitely be relatable, especially for like the eldest daughters out there. You know, she feels this pressure to take care of her family and to be perfect and not need anyone. Definitely giving oldest sister energy. Of course, our main character is pretty annoying. I think that's why maybe some people wouldn't like this. I actually didn't have a problem with that. I think a flawed main character makes the story so interesting. Like she made decisions that were dumb sometimes, but it created that drama. It created that angst that you want. Like when our main couple had their classic third act drama that you know is gonna happen, I actually liked it. I was like, yes, give me this angst, like give me the fighting. Like I don't know, it just worked for me. So I think it's a great romance. If you haven't checked out Allie Hazelwood yet, you definitely need to, especially this book. The chess stuff was of course interesting as well. I feel like I'm either really good at knowing what romances I'm gonna like, or I as a person am just starting to like romance more generally, because I just feel like I'm enjoying so many romance books lately. So I don't know if it's because I know my own taste and I'm picking up authors that work for me, or if romance books are just getting better, or if I'm changing as a person. I don't know, but we will see in the rest of this vlog as I read some more romance. Now I need to eat. Guys, I actually don't know how I'm gonna keep up with my reading the rest of the week because I'm like obsessed with the show The Traitors. Definitely comment below if you watch this show, but there's like UK, US, and Canada versions. I'm watching the US on season 2. It's airing right now. I do have to wait week to week for that. But then I started the Canadian season 2 and I just love it. If you don't know, it's like such a good show for if you like other reality shows like Big Brother and Survivor and The Challenge, or like other competition ones, because it has past players from all those shows. It also has housewives and like other random like D-list celebrities, but it's such a good show. Highly recommend. Okay, I just got up, but last night, I was doing some commuting. So I got quite far into Fool Me Once, or I got halfway. This book is doing things for me. This book is actually really, really good. I'm actually having a great reading week. Like Check and Mate and this, I had the same experience of reading it on the subway during my commute, of like I almost thought that I might miss my stop because I was just so into reading the book that I was not paying attention to anything else going on, which is just so nice for me to be enjoying romances this much, because normally I just get this feeling for thrillers and fantasy. But I think I'm officially a romance girly now. Anyways, I'm gonna put this down. Our main character is Lee Stoner. She's kind of living two lives, to be honest. Like at her job, she's really good at her job. She's a communications professional working for this electric car company. So similar to Tesla, but it's like founded by a woman. Woman created it and everything. And they're trying to pass this bill in Texas, where she lives, to have like all of the public vehicles be electric cars to be better for the environment. She's very passionate about the environment. So she's, really focused in her job, very professional when she's on the clock. But then in her personal life, she's kind of a mess. And, she drinks a lot, parties a lot, that kind of thing. She has some trauma. There's a lot of focus on cheating, I will say. So if that's like a trigger for you, maybe this book would be too much. Like it talks a lot about cheating. As for the romance, it's a second chance romance, and it's really working. Lee has had multiple instances of cheating in her life, so she had been kind of traumatized by that. And then she's dating Ben when they were in school, like college. She actually really loved him, but she got scared and cheated on him before he could hurt her. Obviously, it's still not a great thing to do. I could see some people not being able to get past that. Like when you're reading this, I am able to, just because I'm like understanding the character and stuff. So anyway, she kind of ruined his life, broke his heart years ago, broke her own heart, because she really only did this because she wanted to hurt him first, kind of thing. Now it's years later, and he's now also working like in politics and stuff, and they get put on this project together to pass this bill together. So they're working together on this, but they still have that kind of tension between each other and like resentment and whatever. So they actually kind of create this competition where they're going to be like, we'll see who can get the most yeses for this bill, and they're going to be the winner. So it's like they're working together on a project, but they're also working against each other, kind of, which is cute. So it's that forced proximity because they're working on the project together. Weirdly, I swear I had seen at least one person, I want to say maybe it was Gabby Reeds, because I watch her content a lot. I thought they had said that this book wasn't that romancy. It was more like women's fiction, and the romance was just there. But this is very heavily focused on the romance, at least for the first half. Like we've had so many good moments of them together, and seeing why they're just such a good fit for each other. And it's also very funny. I can't remember if Ashley has ever shown her humor in her thrillers. That's not really the genre to show it anyways, but like she's very funny. So it's giving rom-com. I see why they did like the rebranding of the cover. It was weird. Last night my ebook like forced me to re-download the book from my library, and they changed it from that other cover to like this one with the two little animated people, which kind of gives the better vibe that like this is a rom-com. It fits with all the other rom-com covers. Ben is great. Like, so they have so much good like banter together. I'm just obsessed with the couple. Like I just think they're so great. So looking forward to finishing this one up. Okay, it's the next day. I did finish Fool Me Once last night, and guys, we have another 4.5 star romance. Another one that I was so close to giving 5 stars, honestly. For a lot of the book, I thought I was going to give it 5 stars, but then I started thinking about the last romance I gave 5 stars, which was The Bodyguard. And when I finished that book, I remember thinking this was a perfect romance. And with this one, I don't know, I felt like it didn't quite hit that level because the second half wasn't like as enjoyable as the first half, but overall like such a good romance. I actually did love it so much. much. And I'm trying to think of anything I didn't mention like in the first update, but there definitely is, you know, the focus on politics as they're trying to pass this bill in Texas. They work in politics and all that stuff. And that was something that did worry me going into the book. Just that subject matter. I wasn't sure I was gonna be as into it, especially American politics. But I just want to tell you guys, like, if that's something that's worrying you, I don't think it actually will affect your enjoyment of the book. I feel like there was a lot of the political or job stuff that happened off page, or when it was happening on page, it wasn't that bad. Like, it was still very enjoyable, and it was still very focused on our main couple, our main characters. So that was good. The other thing that I think people might not like is the cheating aspect, which I touched on before. I definitely understand that. When I was telling my boyfriend about the plot of this book, he was like, no, like the main character is a villain for cheating. And I'll admit, like there were a few things in this book that did kind of raise red flags, where it felt a little bit like Ashley Winstead was kind of saying people who cheat aren't that bad. Like, some cheaters were villainized in the book, but then others, it was kind of like, oh, like they made a little mistake, like kind of sympathizing with cheaters a little bit. So not the best take exactly, but honestly that was not a huge deal for me. At the end of the day, I just loved the dynamic between the main couple so much. And the main character, yeah, she's super flawed. She's such a mess. Yeah, she was very annoying, but it still just really worked for me because I think, as I said, for Check-in Mate as well, which was another very flawed character, it's just so much more interesting to read books when the main character is so messy like that, almost giving like Davy from Never Have I Ever. I think that's just so much more interesting if the main character is like that, instead of just being this like super great person, or maybe no personality, just a blank slate, you know? So anyways, we had two amazing romances. Now I'm going to be starting the True Love Experiment today, and I'm actually going to a book event. I'm gonna head out to this book market that's going on and meet up with a friend there. So hopefully there will be a little bit of interesting b-roll. Maybe I'll end up buying something there that I can show you guys. So that's my Sunday. Peach, I have to work. I have to sit here. Do you want to work for me? You better log on. All right, hello. I almost forgot to update because I've been stuck watching The Traitors Canada. But I did get to halfway through The True Love Experiment by Christina Lauren, and we have another great romance. I'm actually so happy that I chose these three to read because, once again, I'm having a really great time with it. I think I mentioned that this was a sequel to The Soulmate Equation. Did not like that one, but my favorite character was Fizzy. She was the best friend sidekick. She was very, very funny, flirty, kind of sexual character. She is a romance author, so she really gets into romance. She dates a lot, but at this point in this book, she has been kind of going through a slump after her last relationship didn't work out. She's not really feeling herself anymore. She doesn't have inspiration to write any more romance novels right now. And then we're also having double points of view. So we are having the point of view of her love interest, Connor, who is a documentary producer. He normally works on like documentaries about like, I think, the environment and like animal conservation and stuff like that. But anyways, he is getting kind of forced to do a dating show, so it's so out of his element. So he's not really pleased about that, but he has to do this dating show. And what the dating show ends up being is that he brings on Fizzy as the bachelorette kind of thing, and they're trying to find her true match in this true love experiment. We have elements from the first book coming in. If you don't know, the first book dealt with this matchmaking service based on this science that like is supposed to find your perfect match. So they're kind of keeping that relevant because all the guys they're choosing for her are good matches for her through this app, blah blah blah. So yeah, the romance is between Fizzy and the producer of her reality show, and I was actually surprised that this first half we are just dipping our toes into the reality show. I feel like with other reality show books I read, it was implemented sooner, but this one, it actually took quite a while to start the competition, the competition. So there's a lot of time of like Fizzy and Connor really bonding and having this like really intense attraction to each other early on. It's not really a slow burn, which is what I would prefer, but I'm still into it because it's like they did have this instant connection, but now it's like star-crossed lovers. Like they can't date because she's literally going on a dating show that he's working on. So they can't date, right? We've got some forbidden love going on, and I think that is working. I can already see the trajectory of how this dating show is going to go, but I think it's going to be fun to watch it play out. Yeah, as I think I also said, Christina Lauren is a very hit or miss author for me, and I feel like this is actually going to be a hit. I feel like Fizzy is still such a super funny, charming character like she was in the first book, so I'm happy to see that. Connor is probably more the boring one, but he's still like a nice, cool guy, so I'm shipping it. I'm here for it. I'll be going into the office the next 2 days. I have to start going in twice a week instead of once a week. So that means I will be doing double the reading on the subway, but I don't mind that. I just pull up my little e-reader, I get sucked in, the commute takes no time at all. So I'll check in soon when I guess I have finished the book. Hey guys, I'm here to close off the vlog surrounded by suitcases because we are leaving for Cuba, leaving on a little all-inclusive vacation tomorrow, but I managed to finish this book in time so I can have this video go up when I'm away. Anyways, I did finish The True Love Experiment today. It was a very cute, enjoyable romance that I definitely recommend. Probably my least favorite of the 3 that I read for this video. I would still give it a 4-star rating though. I really enjoyed it. I think it was better than the first book. So if you read The Soulmate Equation and didn't like it, definitely still give this one a chance. We did get a little bit more into the TV show, the dating show, in the second half, but it's definitely not focused too much on that. So I would say if that was a turnoff for you, if you don't really like that gimmick, don't worry, it's not focused on it that much. It really is focused on Fizzy and Connor a lot. This is the one that was probably most focused on the romance and had the least kind of other subplots going on. That being said, like Fizzy is such an amazing character. The reason I wanted to read this book was because of her, because I liked her so much in The Soulmate Equation, but we really just dive so much deeper into her character. She stays such a fun, entertaining character, but then you also do see that deeper side to her, and I just really enjoyed that. This book is quite steamy. There's quite a bit of steamy stuff in it, but honestly, I didn't mind that, and I think if you like that, you will be satisfied with this book. Just a lot of cute themes, and I think Christina Lauren did really well. So I think now I might have read like 4 books from them, and 2 have been good and 2 haven't been. So they continue to be such a split author for me. I don't know if Christina writes some books and Lauren writes some books and like I only like one of their writings. I don't really know how the author duos work it out. If like one of them takes the reins a little bit more in certain books and the other one takes the reins more in other books. Me and my friends kind of joke about that though, that like, is Christina writing the good ones, Lauren's writing the bad ones, or vice versa? I don't know. But it is kind of interesting that I'm having such mixed results with their books. That being said, I'm definitely open to reading more from them because we have that 50-50 results. But anyways, overall, this was a really enjoyable week or 2 weeks, however long I've been filming. I really enjoyed all these romances. I know I just put out like a romance recommendation video, which I definitely forgot some books. For that. And also now I have like even more that I could recommend. So I'll have to one day do a part 2 to that. I think I'm in my romance era. I don't know. So yeah, hopefully you got some romance recommendations from this. Hopefully you guys are having a good Valentine's Day week, doing some fun stuff. And thanks so much for watching. Leave maybe some hearts in the comments if you made it all the way to the end here. I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.